The time, January 1958. The place, Lake X in Florida. The men, a group dedicated to bringing the world's outboard speed record back to the United States, with the first American outboard motor to go over 100 miles per hour. A great step forward in engineering preparation for the higher speeds of the future. They were confident because now they had a production outboard which had enough power and speed for the job. The 60-power Mercury Mark 75. The job, marry this remarkable engine to a boat which would use the available power to full advantage. To do this without injury to driver, engine, or boat was a great worry to Carl Kiekhaefer, creator of the engine and always a safety-minded man. Powerful, heavy boats with aircraft engines had gone 100 miles per hour. But how would this little 400-pound rig take the tremendous speed? Would it pitch, roll, dive? A new propeller and lower unit, gear ratios, and the entire boat were question marks to be answered. This combination did better than 90 miles an hour in first tests, a tribute to careful planning by the boat's designers. But this was a long way from the record set by Italian Massimo Di Priolo and this supercharged 160-horsepower four-cycle Lesco engine. The two-way average was recognized by the Union of International Motorboating as a new world's record of 100.3 miles per hour by the time the driver and boat were hoisted from the water. He had shattered the old record of 79.4 miles per hour set by Jean Dupuy in 1937. Back in the United States, Carl Kiekhaefer, on the left, thought he knew how to beat that record, since the necessary outboard power was now available. Kiekhaefer, maker of the Mercury outboard motors, encouraged Seattle engineers Hugh Entrup and Jack Leake, who had a promising boat, to meet him at Lake X. A small-scale shop was set up under the sky to work on the streamlining, steering, and hull modifications necessary if the boat were to match the aerodynamic cleanliness of the motor and its natural streamlining. Kiekhaefer took personal direction of these tests and hull modifications because of the danger inherent in running at speeds never before attempted by an outboard-powered boat. Attempting to increase the stability and safety of the boat, streamlined fairings were added to the rear. A preliminary dorsal fin was made to fit behind the driver. The finished fin was brought out and installed. The entire weight of the piece was just a few pounds. Its purpose was to streamline the boat into the motor's slim contour and to improve directional stability of the boat. Locked in position, Leake checks to see that it does not hinder the engine. The craft got its officially sanctioned number, X3. The X3 was ready. Did the boat have too much airlift? Was it properly balanced for the thrust load of an engine running at 8,000 to 10,000 revolutions per minute? That was more like it. The time had come for an official trial. To set a new record, Entrup would have to exceed the existing mark by at least 1 mile an hour. And when you're up at speeds of 100 miles an hour, that 1 mile is not very easy to find. The electronic timing equipment has been designed by the Kiekhaefer engineers. The run would be timed by officials of the American Powerboat Association as the United States affiliate for the UIM. Lake X had been selected because its location, far away from highways and towns, provided the privacy necessary to make the runs without danger to other boats. Waterproof electrical cables extended from the shore to the timing platform and between the electric eyes of the electronic equipment. When the X3 broke the beam between this set of electric eyes, the timer started. When the second beam was broken, speed was electronically and automatically computed. The Mark 75 was able to push the boat at more than 100 miles an hour. Best previous American effort had been by Clint Ferguson, who went 78.1 miles per hour in 1938. Victory was seemingly within sight, but by now, Leake had been fired from his job and Entrup had used up all his vacation time. For these reasons, and because of long periods of squalls and rough weather, they had to delay the trials. But as they moved diagonally across the U.S. 3,000 miles to Seattle, they knew the target was in sight. In Seattle, Entrup and Leake went to Gold Cup designer Ted Jones for help on the last refinements to the hull and propeller. In Seattle, it was Friday, June 6, 1958. The RX-3 was ready to try again. The APBA, led by Jim Spinner, would time the run for the UIM. Entrup and Leake, keyed up for the test, checked the latest Quicksilver propeller specially developed for the run, and then the motor was started. The Mark 75H operated smoothly as it pushed the RX-3 toward the course. And into the traps Entrup went. In an official attempt, you're allowed 3 runs in each direction, the best set being considered for the record. While running, Entrup had to have his ear tuned for any vibration flutter, which would mean immediate danger and possible disaster. Like a fighter pilot, he had to be wary, cool, quick of response and reflex. He had to be an engineer and an observer, as well as the boat driver. Entrup's turn for the run back through the traps was wide and easy. His driving was cool, deliberate. He had full confidence in the work of crew chief Jack Leake, his boat, the engine, and the propeller. As Entrup eased up on the throttle, he was the new holder of the outboard Class X speed record, 102.38 miles an hour for the two-way average. The first American ever to travel 100 miles an hour in an outboard officially. He had made 68 runs with the same Mark 75 at over 100 miles per hour during the test period, and without a motor teardown. Keycaper and Mercury engineer Charles Strang were satisfied, but the others said they thought the rig could go faster. The safety-minded Keycaper said no. After assurance that the boat was very stable and provided that the water was calmer, Keycaper relented. They quickly applied for another sanction for the following day. It was granted. Next morning, June 7th, all were confident that the 60-horsepower Mercury would push the record even higher. No announcement had been made of Friday's record, so reporters were invited out for the Saturday runs. It was shortly after 6 a.m. Fortune was with them. Entrup and the Mark 75 flash across the water at a speed of 109.120 miles an hour on the northbound leg, the highest ever achieved by an outboard motor. Entrup turns at the other end of the kilometer course for the southbound return trip through the traps with his boat and motor combination, considered to represent the first true prop-riding outboard developed. The APBA timed him through the trap on the final return at 106.522 miles per hour for a two-way record average of 107.9, as later certified officially by the UIM. It was almost 8 miles per hour over the old record held by the Italians, and almost 30 miles an hour over the American Class X record. It brought the record back to the U.S. for the first time in 21 years. Jones and Keycaper said that this project would aid in future design of conventional pleasure craft, and stated the high speed of the boat and engine confirmed design solutions that had not been possible to check at lower speeds. They said, the way is now open for development of boat hulls which will take advantage of the new range of durable operating speeds of the modern 6-cylinder inline outboard power plant. These new hulls will mean more performance in the family pleasure boats of tomorrow. Leake removed the cowling for officials to check the Mercury Mark 75H. The amazing engine had made 68 runs at more than 100 miles an hour when it finally set the official record with no teardown or maintenance other than spark plug changes twice. The engine, of course, had to be inspected before it was certified as stock. Only 2 weeks later, Entrup was to establish a new APBA Class F competition record of 73.1 and a mile record of 103.6 miles per hour with another Mark 75H. Said Keycaper to those who would like to duplicate or exceed this record, it's not for an amateur or professional race driver. It requires the background experience, the years of planning, the combination of teamwork, equipment, and specialized know-how of such a team as this one. 2 months after these congratulations, on August 9th, the accomplishments of the Mercury Mark 75 in setting the UIM and APBA world speed records and the 50,000-mile world endurance record brought selection of the motor's creator, Carl Keycaper, as Outboarding Man of the Year by the APBA Council.